The Best in the Desert Racing Association's Tisco Vegas to Reno the Long Way is one of the most coveted titles in the sport of off-road racing. With the support of Mark and Gary Wyrick of the Tisco team, this historic event would be a 3-day, 1,000-mile staged contest for the first time since 2005.
First time I came down and did this race with my dad, it was the Frontier 500 in 1982. And, you know, just a lot of great memories running up and down in rural Nevada with my dad and my brother, and, you know, our whole family was down here doing that together. And so for Gary and I, it was a great opportunity to step in and try and make this event. You know, Casey's taken it on and tried to make it this real special thing. And we said, well, let's add some elements from the old Frontier days. We kind of, you know, got together and made it what it is today. And especially this year, the distinctive feature really is that the race is going to be over 3 days. It pulls everybody into it, so it's, you know, it's more like a NASCAR event, so, or even, you know, World Rally.
This will be the last race in the truck we have now, and hopefully by the B-Lake 300 we will have the new Jimco ready to go. We've got a brand new motor for the race. You know, like you said, it's 1,000 miles. I mean, it's 3 days, so it doesn't really seem like it, but it's going to be 1,100 miles on that motor. And you know, we went through the whole truck, kind of like we're prepping for a Mexico race, you know. But it seems to be a lot smoother up here, a lot of graded, fast, real fun roads, so hopefully the truck won't take as big of a beating. But, you know, we're just going to try and stay up there, make it to the third day, and then the race is on the third day.
.1588 race off the line.
We really like the long races, and it's just something our goal, our team has been to get to that long race, and just the event itself, all of the excitement, the 3-day event. We did this, I believe, in 2002 when they had the long way event, and we really enjoyed it. We still talk about it to this day, about the team camaraderie and the whole event, so yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Dan, you guys see me?
Repeat that, Keith.
I can't hear from this radio. The speaker sucks.
Okay, across the paved road. You got me?
Yeah, I got you. It's hard to understand you, though.
Say again, Dan? How's our gap?
It's a small gap. You're catching Johnson.
Stop, let's go. Let's dump fuel, dump fuel.
No fuel. No fuel. No fuel! That was our fuel!
1588, you got 1 minute to the guy in front of you, 1 minute behind the guy in front of you. And Colin, this truck is right on your tail.
Boy Dog driver Chuck Dempsey was coming off a severe injury.
I just came up short on the tabletop, and the car ended up front end of one of the jumps and ended up breaking my toes and my knuckles, and all the bones that hooked to the knuckles shut out the bottom of the foot. The guys back at the shop made me a special foot pedal and special springs on it, and they did an awesome job, and it doesn't seem like it's going to bother my foot at all.
I'm here with Tony McLaren Motorsports. They're from Oregon. There's 17 of us out here. We have been racing actually together for about 9 years when we initially met. We randomly have run into each other over the years. And we decided at the last race at Terribles, when Tony took second place in Class 10, I asked him if he wanted to get together and run this race, and he was just, oh, absolutely, we can't miss the inaugural race. So here we are. The course is rough. We know it, we've been on it many times, and we're just excited to be a part of it.
The first of 2 Torchmate CNC cutting systems onboard cameras was carried by Dallas Luttrell and Bill Billington of TSA Motorsports' 7200 class entry, a truck that was bought new off a car dealer lot in early 2008. TSA would continue to advance in the race, but meanwhile the trick truck of Mark Wyrick was developing transmission issues.
Losing the tranny. Trophy truck 9, mile 55. We are losing the tranny.
It's only 60 minutes to repair their vehicles. Every second after that would count against their time on the course the next day.
Had a good day today. Well, we had some problems, but the truck's brand new, and this was the first time that we've ever driven it in the desert. So, all in all, I'm not unhappy with anything at all. I think we're in the top 10. At one point today, we were the 4th car on the road, so we're doing really well. And then some little gremlins jumped out that you would expect with a brand new vehicle, and we stopped. We patched them together as best we can. Hopefully, we'll get a good fix on them tonight. We'll do better tomorrow.
We had some trouble today. Early on, we lost 2 or 3 coils. We're not sure. So we're basically running on 5 cylinders all day. And then at about race mile 111, we lost first gear. So we're going to change a tranny, and we're going to change the coils, and we're also going to change a set of spark plug wires. So we had a tough day, but we think it's all things that we can get fixed. We're really hopeful we can get it done in an hour. So we'll see.
After repairing their vehicles as quickly as possible, the drivers and teams would turn their vehicles into the impound to get whatever sleep they could and then rise early the next morning for another 367 miles of racing.
We did a little different pit strategy. We pitted at the second pit, which is like mile 58. And fuel there kind of threw us off from everybody else. So then they all pitted at mile 99. So at mile 99, they were all in the pits. So we went by them all. So then we got in the lead again, so we were doing really good, and then we had 2 10 cars were holding us up, and we fought, and we finally got around them. The motor started heating up, and the water pump loosened up, and it was leaking water. So we overheated and ran out of water. So we wasted about close to an hour.
Hard right, coming up, hard right.
Last night was okay. Yesterday pretty much sucked. We blew a tranny 50 miles out in a 1,000-mile race. You know, the guys worked real hard and fixed it, and we're going to go out and, see if we have a failure again, then we know we have a problem. But we think it was just a bad part. We think we got a bad torque converter. The goal is still to hit Reno, and it is what it is. That's racing, man.
Whoops.
While day 1 had been dominated by B.J. Baldwin and Andy McMillan, day 2 saw Pat Dean's 1517 car tear to the front of the field and stay there to take the overall win for the second day of racing. Not far behind him, a battle would develop through pit 2 between Jason Voss and Jesse Jones.
The truck's doing good, actually. We got one busted top cover, oil leaking a little bit, a couple flat tires, and it's still good. As long as we get through this day and keep moving forward, we'll be okay.
You want it topped off? Fluid now or later?
We thought we had the brakes fixed, and I was really excited about, going out and attacking today. And the truck has got some aspects to it that work really, really well.
Give me another one. How many you put in it? Put it in the hole. 5 miles. Start filling up dump cans here.
I mean, with no brakes, bonsaiing some holes that you just can't slow down for, and the thing just soaks it up like a magic carpet ride.
Run. Fences are right there.
Oh, we just lost something. Oh, the car just died while I was under full throttle.
While a mysterious engine problem stopped Gary dead in his tracks, Rob Reinertson sliced forward through the field trying to take home a win amongst the pro trucks that would help him earn valuable points in one of desert racing's most competitive classes. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, the competition heated up between Pat Dean's team and Andy McMillan. The two were running neck and neck into pit 5, and it was up to the pit crews to see if the 1500 car could hold its lead over the most powerful vehicle in the sport.
Pat, if we get a quick update, obviously something was going on the course, it seems like, between your team and McMillan's team. Any idea what it could be over the course of the radio? Is it a question of him trying to get around one of your guys on the course?
No, they're just close. They were just exciting racing, I guess what you said. Just racing is all it is.
You guys took a little dust there, so...
yeah, we got sprayed. He just got out, got a little sideways. I'm sure he didn't mean nothing.
Okay, I'm sure
just
you guys...
excitement.
That's
just
it.
excitement.
Okay, thanks, Pat.
Hi, you're welcome.
Good time.
Day 2 of the Tisco Vegas to Reno the Long Way would take the drivers from Tonopah to Hawthorne right through the rocky heart of Nevada. For some drivers, including Steve Strobel, the rigors of the 1,000-mile endurance race would prove to be too much of a beating, even for their powerful trick truck.
Hey, John, this is Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's popping and spitting in the mid-range again. Still seems to run decent when you get up on the RPMs, but definitely something's not right. Man, I can see him, John. I just can't get to him.
So what's up with that misfire?
I'm not sure. It's actually better right now. It's just kind of killing some of the mid-range power. That right side tire is what I just put on. Is it already flat?
Day 2 would be Steve's last day on the course. Various mechanical issues would force him to put the truck on the trailer and head home.
Dang it! I think so. We're going to have to, I don't know what else to do.
The second Torchmate CNC Cutting Systems onboard camera was being carried by the limited 2000 class car of Max Hanberg.
It's a heck of a race. 1,000 miles in 3 days is a heck of a race to do. You know, we work all year long getting this car ready, and the prep job, it's all about a prep job when you come on these long races. And that's something we pride ourselves in, being able to prep a car real well.
Status update is that both cars are at mile 361. Mark's towing Gary. They should be here in about 20 minutes.
Right. I can't. Don't pull him off. Brakes, Gary, brakes.
While Mark worked his way out of a 40-foot deep ravine, the cars and trucks that the desert hadn't claimed arrived at the Day 2 tech area in a mad scramble to have their cars ready for Day 3, when the racing truly began.
We're just cleaning off the bodywork right now, finishing off our checklist. We had our clutch went out, we had to change the slave. I had issues with my seat all day. It was pushed way far back. I couldn't get to my pedals. We have a hole in our floorboard that we had to actually push out so I could pull the seat forward to actually get to the pedals. So that has actually finally been fixed, so now tomorrow should be a better day for me. So it's been a little frustrating today, but we still finished and we're here.
That's a 2008 Toyota Tacoma, brand new off the lot. We went and bought it, stripped it down. Everybody at the dealership thought we were crazy. The truck's 100% bolt-on kits, off-the-shelf parts. We put 2,000 miles on it, race miles.
We went out and bought a new truck because we looked at the used ones and we just didn't know how many race miles they had on it. I mean, that was our plan. We wanted to start out slow in one of the lower classes. We didn't want to go out and buy a trophy truck and end up in the big boys and end up rolling it over and hurting ourselves. So we decided we need to get some drive time. Let's start in one of the lower classes. Let's go and buy a stock truck and build it up.
Day 1 was a real long day for us because we've had a lot of issues with the car. I mean, we qualified second car on the line, caught right up to Andy right off the bat, and you know, the course adjustment, everybody had that. Then we just started having some troubles with the cars, you know, with alternator problems, wiring, harness issues. And, we were down a lot, and all of a sudden we lost the converter seal just towards about 20 miles from the finish Day 1. So we had to get towed in, so we had to give that day up. Today, we started like 140th, almost last something because of our DNF, and we've just been dealing with it, you know, the dust all day, and you know, trying to get the car going. We're doing good in points, so that's our main thing right now is not to try to win the race because we can't, but it's just to keep our points going, to keep the team up there in points.
As the night wore on, the cars and trucks continued to pour into the tech area. The ravaged field had one more day of racing ahead, and the Vegas to Reno Championship was still up for grabs. Sundays on Off-Road Racing Online Magazine.
You know, we had a great truck yesterday, and we think we passed about 90 to 100 cars. So it was a lot of work. And dusty and mentally real fatiguing. But all in all, we did good. So now our hope is just to get to Reno. I don't know where we start, maybe 30th or so today, but it's going to be a heck of a lot better than where we were yesterday. There's no wind at all, which is going to be pretty frustrating. So all we can do is just try and keep it in line, and it's about getting it home now. So we'll strap in here. We'll see you in Reno.
We got gas right here. We're good to gas.
How was the course conditions early on? You're only about 50, 60 miles in.
Good so far. Everybody's just kind of in line. I think there's a few casualties out there to flats, but we're right in there. We're doing good. Since day one, we've been catching up the whole time. Robbie burned it really good yesterday. He's doing the first part today. I'm going to get the truck at Gabbs and see if we can bring that thing home.
Race 9, BJ Baldwin right in front of you.
Yeah, we're all just stuck in the dust.
Yeah, you got to run one pro truck in that pit though, so you just got him and one other pro truck in front of him.
Sweet.
It's frustrating to see your driver go by, having to lift for the dust. So many people were able to blow by with no dust. You can see how much of an advantage it is to get out there in that clean air.
As the chase vehicles scrambled to the finish line, Troy Herbst would hold first place over Andy McMillan for most of the day and arrive first across the finish line.
These roads are full of silt, and instead of doing 130, you're only doing 112, 115. But you got 3 days to make the engine, tranny, and everything live. So this is quite an endurance.
It really takes a lot out of you. And I think I have a little bit of advantage being a little bit younger, but not as big of an advantage having as much experience as guys like Troy, and how to set a good pace and just keep that pace. So he ran a great race today. I knew he was out front. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm anxious to find out.
Shortly after our interview, the official results were announced, showing that Andy McMillan, at only 22 years old, had taken home the Vegas to Reno title.
Day one, we got 6th on the first day, and then we went 30 miles on day 2, and the motor just quit. It ended up being internal. We blew the motor. And day 1, Mark lost the tranny, so we put that back together, and since then he's gone clean.
Vehicles poured across the finish line for hours on end, including Jason Voss's truck, whose crew had worked until 4 in the morning the previous day to see that they made it across the finish line in the longest off-road race in the country. In spite of surgery on his right foot, Chuck Dempsey brought the Speed Tech Bully Dog machine to an 11th in class finish. The Mastercraft team of Will and Emily Statz, along with Mastercraft CEO Robbie Pierce, would overcome their problems on day 1 to finish 7th amongst the trick trucks.
We finished this inaugural race! We can't believe it! 1,000 miles, 3 days of racing. How excited can we be? Best in the Desert put on an amazing race.
Tell me what happened to Pinky, the car.
Today, nothing. Today, we had no problems. She's tired. She raced 1,000 miles. For a 22-year-old car, she did really well.
And in spite of the wind ripping off the side paneling on his truck, Rob Reinertson overcame engine heating problems to bring his vehicle across the line 5th in class.
First time I came down and did this race with my dad, it was the Frontier 500 in 1982. And, just a lot of great memories running up and down in rural Nevada with my dad and my brother, and, our whole family was down here doing that together.
It was definitely a really fun course, really fast, a lot of high-speed rally roads, so it was a good time.